KBR Sports, the best sports talk show of your 24-hour day, coming to you live on WODU Studios, the best in college radio. I'm your host, Brendan Abbott, with my two co-hosts, Khaled Lewis to my right and Rashad Pinnell to my left. How you guys doing this morning?
Good. Trying to hoping that this nice weather dries up some of this water so I can sit outside so my buns
Sit
won't be wet.
outside.
Yeah.
You gonna go sit out here in the front, right over there?
Mm-hmm. You already know.
Hey, gotta you do what you gotta do, man.
How about you, Rashad?
I'm here.
You said you're here.
I'm here.
I said I'm here.
As for and stayed awake at work, got some stuff done, worked on some commercial. Now, I'm here. So we can do sports.
Word. For everybody listening in today, if you want to call in and join in on the debate, the number is 757-683-4405. You can also listen to us on Spreaker, also on Rabble TV. Tweet us your comments and ideas at KBR_sports. Follow us on there, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel at KBR Sports. You can see our past shows and past segments. But let's jump right into it, y'all. The topics we're going to be talking about today consist of the NCAA tournament and the Final Four. It's come down to 4 select teams, and the tournament has been exciting by every stretch of the imagination so far. So we're going to get into that, and then we're going to get into Gino Auriemma's comments about UConn and how people are saying that they're bad for the game, and he's saying maybe y'all are just not good enough to beat us. And then getting into the Chicago Bulls, who have had very underwhelming season. They were looking like a team that could possibly make a deep playoff run initially with the talent on the roster, but then it just didn't come to fruition. And then also we'll get into LeBron James and the possibility of him playing on another super team. So we'll see how that all plays out. But starting off, man, the Final Four is legit coming down to the end, coming down to the wire now, where we have very a select few teams, where we have UNC, Syracuse, Villanova, and Oklahoma all going to be playing in the Final Four. And from this past weekend of events, I mean,
more games.
Yeah, what did you guys think of the weekend so far, and just the Elite Eight, and then the teams that are in the Final Four? Rashad, I'll start with you. What do you think?
Watching the Elite Eight was actually quite interesting. You see Buddy Hield, who basically says Kobe's in attendance, so it means I need to play like Kobe and drop 37 to win. You see Villanova surprisingly making it to the Final Four. I feel like that was a shocker to a lot of us. I see Villanova make it, and then especially the big game with the Syracuse, upsetting UVA with their press break that just UVA struggled with, and the game with a late push after UVA was leading by 10 points at halftime. So I was actually seeing a 10 seed in there in the Final Four. Shocking when the team who was not even supposed to make the tournament, they was like, all right, maybe we'll get it, maybe not. Now in the Final Four, and then UNC being the only number 1 seed left, that's still playing like a number 1 seed. So you looking at these teams, and it's honestly 2 teams that stick out to you the most right now the way they're playing, and that's Oklahoma and that's UNC. So it's looking like it's going to be an interesting Final Four, because we've seen all of these teams you have one of the best scoring teams, you have one of the most efficient teams, you have one of the best rebounding teams, and then you have the Cinderella team. So you're just like, man, you don't even know what's going to happen because of the way this tournament's been.
All right, Khaled, what about you?
It was definitely an interesting turn of events. The number 1 seeds and most of the conferences got knocked out. They got taken out one by one. And surprisingly, since we thought most of these teams were going to be in the Final Four. And then, of course, the surprise with Syracuse coming through. Oregon, Kansas, and Virginia they played hard, but they got took it down. And now we got Oklahoma. Oklahoma swept through pretty good. North Carolina, the only number 1 seed left that's in the Final Four. Props to them playing well. And then Syracuse, like Rashad said, there's Cinderella story coming through. And who else? Villanova. I mean, Villanova is going to make for Oklahoma a good game, I feel like. I think this Final Four is going to be very interesting. Definitely with Syracuse and North Carolina and all their issues with the media and stuff like that.
What issues in the media are you exactly talking about?
Remember they was having problems with their they saying they was taking fake classes or something so that the players in North Carolina, so that the players can continue playing basketball.
The biggest media thing I've heard of this weekend was Coach K actually, of his comments that he made towards Dillon Brooks, the Oregon player. Well, actually, get into that. What do you guys think about that? Also, just as a side note, what do you guys think about those things with Coach K? Because pretty much for those who don't know, Coach K at the end of the Oregon Duke game, because obviously Oregon brought the work to Duke, and Dillon Brooks launched up a three. I mean, there was a differential between shot clock and game clock, so he shot a three and made it, and then he got extra excited. And then when they were walking in the congratulatory lines, Coach K pulled Dillon Brooks to the side, not really to the side, but he talked to him and told him, you're too good to be doing all that. And pretty much Dillon Brooks said, "I'm sorry, coach." And then in the post game press conference, Coach K denied it. And then Dillon Brooks essentially took ownership of it and said that, I mean, he didn't exactly say what he did was wrong, but he said, yeah, the coach was right. He said, we handle it as two professionals. What we said was between us and everything. And then Coach K later on apologized to Dana Altman, the coach of Oregon. And now this whole whirlwind has been created by Coach K with people saying, do you feel as though a coach should have the right to talk to another team's players, even though it's a coach of Coach K's stature? So what do you guys think about that?
I feel like coaches should they should give their insight on people, on like other players and stuff like that on other teams, and give some creative criticism just to be like, oh, don't do that or something like that. This is not professional. I mean, it helps because it helps the player. It gets a different perspective from maybe the coach that their head coach weren't telling them. So now they can get another coach, like Coach K, who's someone who's a notable name, and to be telling them that, it's actually probably something good for them. It probably helps them out a whole lot, and they probably wish that they could hear a little bit more from them.
Rashad, what do you think?
I mean, he didn't. Coach K, I think he did the right thing. He didn't go out. He didn't come at his neck or anything. He didn't go to him negative. He told him, "Hey, you're a good player. You shouldn't, just remain humble, basically, because you never know what can happen in your next game like that. So it's just stuff like that. Just kind of letting you know, like, hey, just that sportsman, like that attitude right there doesn't carry well, and it's not gonna carry far into the pros as well. So it's just a coach letting him know from past experiences, like what's gonna happen.
Because some wonder if Coach K was being a bit of a sore loser, not exactly being, the exactly wise overseeing coach that people believe him to be. So what would you guys tell the people that feel that way about Coach K, that it could have been a sore loser thing? Because some people would say, hey, how are you going to talk to Dillon Brooks when Grayson Allen's over here tripping up guys? And how would you feel if another coach came in and talked to Grayson Allen? Because no coach has done it so far. So what would you guys say to the people that feel that way?
I mean, I think it's a thing sort of, it's like him just being wise, just knowing how to coach and like knowing the game, telling other players. Anybody on the court gains knowledge from either one of the coaches, even if they don't tell them directly, or if they do, they still learn something from what the coaches say or do through like for the team. So I don't think it's a sore loser thing. I mean, you already know Coach K is gonna tell his team, like, look, you need to do better. You shouldn't, do this, that, and the third. He already talking to them, but maybe some, just a little bit of knowledge from him, towards some of the other players on the other team. It can help out just a little bit. I don't think it's not no real sore loser type thing.
The thing with the tripping is that causes problems with other teams as well, because you're risking other players getting injured at the same time. So I feel like other coaches are kind of like come at that in a different way than what Coach K did, tell him, saying that he's too good to be showboating in a sense, especially after they already won. I don't think he's being a sore loser, because at the same time, Coach K's handling his issues with Grayson Allen. As we've seen before, Coach K handles his players. Because if you're not according to Coach K Duke material, you gone. You can look at Rasheed home on anything like that. You're dismissed from the team. So I'm completely sure that this Grayson Allen situation has been handled. Even though it's reoccurring, it's been handled. It's probably been to the point where Grayson Allen was probably almost off the team. None of us even know that. So for people to if they were trying to make a comparison kind of sense like that, you can be like, well, if you look at that, Grayson Allen does something that's injured, so another coach from another player be like, hey, you're trying to injure my player, you need to cool out with that. So I feel like Coach K maybe have a problem with that, but if he's telling, hey, Grayson, you're too good to be constantly tripping people, jeopardizing what you can have coming up in the future, getting probably kicked off the program, something like that. Then I'm like, okay, so Coach K's probably like, yeah, that's something, another coach is telling you too. So obviously you need to change your ways before you're gone.
See, because it's weird because and I feel as though in that coaching fraternity that they all kind of have a mutual understanding of like, let we'll each to each their own. To each their own, they'll each coach their own players because nobody it doesn't seem as though, at least from reports, that any other coaches really approach Grayson Allen, even with their players being could have been injured by Grayson Allen's tripping. But Dillon Brooks is merely showing a sign of, excitement that his team was moving on into the Elite Eight. And then Coach K pulls Dillon Brooks aside and tells him that you're not good enough to do that. So a lot of people felt as though, Coach K violated that trust in that amongst
didn't really
coaches.
Say he wasn't good enough.
Agreement.
He wasn't not good enough to do that. He told him he was a terrific player. You shouldn't do it.
No, I mean that's what I'm saying. You say you're too good to do it.
Okay.
And then what's it called? And then wait, what did I say?
Not good enough.
Yeah, he said.
Okay, well that he's too good of a player to do that. But essentially that he violated that trust where other coaches were like, well, we let you deal with your own, let us deal with our own. Because if this is the first incident with Dillon Brooks doing something like this, then how come he felt the need to try and interject on that? Whereas other coaches were like, well, you know what? Grayson Allen's his problem. We're not going to interject with Grayson Allen. You got it.
I feel like that's the coach. That's the other coaches. I mean, if they don't feel like they want to say something, that's on them. But
that's what I'm saying. But remember how you said the thing about Coach K might have dealt with Grayson Allen behind closed doors.
So that means other coaches don't want to speak on it because because you feel like Coach K would have dealt on it.
And Dana Altman even came out and said that he told Dillon Brooks to shoot the ball.
Yeah.
So whatever things that Coach K felt should have been directed towards him, not Dillon Brooks. So if that's the case matter, then why didn't Coach K leave it to Dana Altman to resolve it instead of taking things upon his own hands? It's like other coaches have left for him in the past because it's kind of like one of those unspoken rules in the coaching fraternity.
Maybe he felt like he should have took the lead since he has this experience with winning and stuff like that, and I guess he's more humble about it. I don't know, maybe it's just that little bit of insight from him.
I don't think it was more so taking the shot. It was his reaction after hitting the shot when there's like no contest or anything. And he just, act like he just like took the lead of the game in a sense. The way he like kind of like, I guess you would say like, people when they hit a 3-point, they celebrate in a sense. But at the point it was not necessary. You see what I'm saying? So that's kind of how like I look at it more so than like how coaches coming out saying that, I told him take the shot. I mean, obviously you gotta take the shot. You don't want a shot clock violation. That's a turnover. So you're gonna shoot the shot regardless. But I mean, the way he reacted after the shot is kind of where I guess Coach K coming, hey, you're too good to act like that.
So is Coach K given a pass over the other coaches?
I mean, I feel like if Marcus Page did that, and then any other coach, let's say Jim Boeheim, let Jim Boeheim say something like, hey, you're too good to be taking shots like that. And then, I mean, I'm looking at like, you're probably right. Maybe I should be more humble in the sport of basketball, especially when the game's already over.
I feel like the opinion from any coach will definitely help. Even if your coach don't say it, or if your coach tells you to like do this, maybe insight from a different coach will make you think about it or something.
All right.